I came on a campus visit and I just like loved the environment. People were just happy here. I got to SLU and had this like gut feeling of like, oh, I need to be here. It was like, you are gonna be so well supported here. And every single time I'm like on campus, even with preclinicals, everyone wants you to succeed, and like, that's huge. Everything that you need is here. Food, you have study spaces, you have administrators and faculty members that are available, places where you can practice your skills, places where you can relax.
South Campus, that's where we have like anything like medical related, so physical therapy, health sciences, occupational therapy, the med school.
And I think that's a cool example of what SLU is trying to facilitate. Medical students who can work well with PA students and with PT students. It's a mix of both homey and professional. I mean, you can walk past the picnic tables and see people eating lunch, hanging out, but then you're learning about like the intricacies of the human body right next door.
When you step onto the campus, it never feels busy or bustling. It always feels very peaceful, despite the fact that we're medical students.
In the middle of long exams, I'll just like walk out onto campus and like sit by the pond for a 5-minute break. You kind of forget that you're in a city.
You basically have classes in this building or the EU, and so right in between, grab a cup of coffee and just be like at the picnic tables studying, because that's what you do in med school, you study.
I love studying in the library. I also love working in our new 360 classroom. My friends and I, when we're studying and we want to quiz each other, we'll go and sit at one of those tables.
It's not like a typical lecture hall where all chairs are like oriented to the front. You're more encouraged to like collaborate with your peers.
We start using the sim lab second semester of your first year to simulate patient experiences with real vital signs, and they blink and they move.
And sim lab, hands down, has been one of the best experiences that I've had at SLU. An emergency medicine physician who has just did a 24-hour shift in the ED come in, and then they're teaching us. There's this kind of a culture of older students and residents helping the medical students to really understand what the clinical environment is like.
I really like the new wellness space. I like being able to like sit cross-legged and work on whatever I need to work on.
I like to go to fresh gatherings where there are nutrition majors who basically run the restaurant.
When you're potentially dealing with a lot of work to do and you can walk outside and get some fresh air and just have happy people around. It's a community here, and it's really cool.
When you step on SLU's campus, we don't feel closed off from the community because we are like right across from the hospital. They serve the predominant like urban community, and the surrounding area is typically low socioeconomic, and that pretty much hooked me because I knew that they were focused on serving the community.
I mean, it's awesome to have so many different subspecialties in the hospital right across the street.
There's a lot of core rotations that every med student at every school has to take. If you wanted to do like peds, for example, you could tailor all your rotations to reflect that you wanted to do peds.
In your very first semester, we have an elective that students get to take, and my elective was in the NICU. So right away, like almost right after I got dropped on campus, I was already having clinical exposure. One of the fellows that was working in the NICU offered to have me join her research project, and then all of a sudden I had research.
The new hospital is gorgeous as well. Natural light just makes me feel so much more happy and ready to study. That's the primary place that we rotate, but we do have other options. We rotate at the VA, St. Mary's, and then also Mercy.
We work in a lot of like lower income clinics. I feel like I'm giving more back to the community.
Being able to be out in the community and like learn from community partners. If I'm volunteering at Cardinal Glennon, I can do that in between classes. You're offered so much and you can do kind of whatever you want to do.
I was looking for a stellar academic experience, but then also somewhere where I felt like I would grow as a person. So I felt like I could get that here.
For me, I wanted to go to a school where I felt like student success was number one. They definitely accomplished that. But then at the same time, I wanted to go somewhere where there's a lot to do in the city.
St. Louis is a city of neighborhoods, and everything is really close. And there's kind of a culture of students going out and experiencing those different neighborhoods.
The joke is like everything in St. Louis is 15 minutes away from the other thing. It's a whole bunch of cultures, a whole bunch of diversity.
First of all, the food scene, fantastic.
All of the restaurants.
I'm from St. Louis, and I still have an entire list of restaurants that I want to try.
St. Louis does a lot of like free events, whether it's music or food or art.
And everything's like almost free or really cheap, which is really nice.
And the green space here in St. Louis is amazing for a major city. A lot of parks, so if I decide I want to go take a walk or go on a bike ride, decompress in so many different ways.
Students that I talked to that had come here previously felt like this was a community, like a home for them. Felt very comforted and almost felt like a little bit like home.
It does feel like home.
I really wanted that in my med school experience, and I knew that I would get that here.